Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Manny here once again. Welcome to another WNBA Fanduel lineup advice video here at DFS Zone. And before I continue, like always, guys, I appreciate you drop a like. And if you have not subscribed as of yet to the channel, please do so down below. And do not forget to turn on those notifications. This way you will not miss any of my new uploads. With that being said, today is Tuesday, July the 31st, 2018. We're back with the WNBA, guys. We had a whole week off. I enjoyed the All-Star game the other day. I hope you guys did as well. It's back to, getting back to these games. This is the stretch drive for the WNBA. I think every team has about 8 or 9 games left. I will be conducting the videos all the way through the end of the WNBA season, and then of course going right into the NFL as well as the NBA, which I'm already working on to get ready for you guys. Little bit of news to bring out. As you guys know, I started a Facebook group. I had requested all of you guys to go in there. I know some of you have. I don't think a lot of you have made the effort to go to the page yet, but go to the Facebook group, become a member. I just finished doing a poll for this weekend's three-point shootout, and what I did was I was giving whoever could pick the winner of the three-point shootout, they will get my top 12 plays for today's slate. And there was only one individual that won that, so I wanted to congratulate Mr. James Perkins. James Perkins wins. He picked Allie Quigley as well as I, but of course I'm not winning here. It's just whoever was willing to do the actual poll. So he won the poll. He'll get the 12 plays. James, I will reach out to you on Facebook right after I finish this video a little later. I'm going to send you those 12 best possible plays that I can think of. Okay, guys? I will be back live. The live show will continue live streaming later on, an hour before lock, so be on the lookout for that. Make sure you come down and support the channel and come in and see what I have in store for you. After I do all my due diligence, I will be back later on and let you know what I think are the best possible plays moving forward. And that's basically it, man. That is basically it. So again, I appreciate you guys that have come out. I appreciate you individuals that have made an effort to not only be a subscriber, but also come out to the live streams. I really, really appreciate that. And of course, I am very happy to have those who have made the effort to go over to the Facebook page, to the Facebook group for DFS Zone, and have requested to be a group member. And again, that was one of only many polls that I'm going to be doing, and many things that I'm going to try to offer to you guys and give back as we move forward. All right, guys. So with that being all said and getting out of the way, let's jump into the slate. We have a 3-game slate for today. We got Washington at Atlanta. Chicago is going over to visit Dallas, and we got Seattle going over to Phoenix. And first games first, Washington at Atlanta. Washington is coming in there. These teams, all these teams here on the slate, other than Chicago, are pretty much still in the playoff hunt. Okay, so they're going to be interesting games. Out of all 3 games, obviously the Dallas game is going to be the one game that there is the possibility of a blowout. Any game could be a possible blowout, but that game, Vegas does have them with a larger spread. But we're going to go over them each individually. Washington is at Atlanta. Washington's coming in 7th seed. They're 14-11, and they're 1-4 over the course of their last 5 games. And like you guys know who follow me, I always try to look at the last 3 to 5 games and determine more or less where teams are at, because the same team that you might have thought was a fairly good team is probably not playing as well now as a team as they were playing maybe earlier in the season or in the middle of the season. So definitely something that you always got to consider when you're playing DFS, at least in my opinion. That's the way I feel that strongly. That's something that I have to definitely look at, so I want to make sure I share that with my viewers. Over the course of those 5 games, they are 1-3 on the road. So they have played 4 out of those 5 games on the road, Washington, and they lost 3 of them. So they definitely are struggling on the road. They definitely were one of the teams that couple weeks back were up there in the top 3 or 4, and now they have slipped all the way to the 7th seed. So they definitely need to get a win here today. All right, Atlanta on the other side of the court, they are number 2 coming in. They have won 8 in a row. They've been on a tremendous win streak. They're playing fabulous basketball. Front court and back court are playing marvelously. All right, so Atlanta is very, very, very dangerous team right now, as well as as far as how well they've been playing as a team. Implied totals for this game is 164 total, with Atlanta favored at home by 3. Okay, we come in here. Atlanta is third in pace, coming in at 82 possessions per game. They're 10th in points at 79.3 points per game. 11th in field goal percentage at 41.4%. They're dead last in three-point shooting, which is quite all right. They do other things to generate points. 29.8% from three. They are third in rebounding at 37 rebounds per game. 10th in assists at 17.8. I do not want to go over blocks and steals. I think the more important aspects of fantasy sport, at least right now in the WNBA for me, will be rebounds, assists, three-point shooting, field goal percentage, and, of course, where they're getting their points from on the floor. Percentage points from two, they're fifth in the league at 59.8%, pretty much 60%. Okay. Percentage points from three, they're 11th at 19.7%, and they're fourth in points per game given up to guards at 31 points per game, and they're seventh in points per game given up to forwards and centers at 49.2 points per game. On the other side of the ball, Washington comes in eighth in pace with 79.6 possessions per game, pretty much almost close to 80 possessions a game. These teams are fairly close there in that department, only by 1 or 2 possessions, so pretty close in the pace aspects of the game. Fourth in points, 84 points per game. They're eighth in field goal percentage at 44%, seventh in three-point shooting at 34.7%, 10th in rebounds at 32.5 rebounds per game. They're 11th in assists at 17.2 assists a game. Both teams are in the bottom of the barrel as far as assists are concerned, so something that we don't have to target there. Points, percentage points from two, they're 11th in the league at 52.3%, near the bottom, and that's because Washington is known to their game is mostly 20, almost 30% from three. Percentage points from three, they're third in the league, shooting 28.7%. Okay, and they are fifth in points per game given up to guards, allowing 31.4 points per game, and they're ninth in points per game given up to forwards and centers at 50.3 per game. I go on, as far as the game is concerned, Tiffany Hayes, Christy Mitchell, they're all fine plays, guys. I am, right now, first look for me, I am not targeting those two ladies just simply because of the matchup and the price, 6,300 and 7,400. You really need 7,400. You need pretty much almost 37 from Tiffany Hayes. She's not going to get you 37. She's more in that 25 to 30 point range on the consistent basis, and that's why she's at 28 fantasy points per game. Same thing with Christy Tolliver. They both have the potential to give you 35 or better. Christy Tolliver, maybe even more so, could get you almost 8x here. Could get you 40, but definitely the matchup is really tough. I'd rather just bypass those girls. Coming down a little lower, I like Ariel Atkins simply not only because of price, but more so because she has tremendous upside. We know that she's capable of putting up 40, so I would say she's definitely someone to consider here in this matchup. 5,400, you pretty much need about 26, 27. She is in that range, 26, 23. If she's not near her price range, you want to at least be close to her fantasy points per game average, and she is pretty much at around 21. In the last 2 out of the 3 games, she's at 23 plus, so not too bad. And of course, like I said, she has those upsides, 49 here in one game, and I think she had another solid game. She put a 30 here pretty much. Yeah, that's the only 40-plus game, but she's capable of getting you 40. She as long as she gets the minutes. I mean, she only got 18 minutes against Connecticut, but 26 to 29 minutes would be just perfect for her in this matchup tomorrow. Again, in this game against Atlanta, previously she put up, let's look here real quickly, Atlanta 21 minutes, 11. Last game, 21 minutes, 13. She didn't really light up the scoreboard against Atlanta, but I think she is a good play at 5,400 with the possible upside of 40. Anything can happen. If she gets enough shots and she's coming off early, they're going to feed her the ball a little bit more. Another person that I would consider here is Renee Montgomery for the Atlanta side at 4,900. She has a nice upside as well. She's in at 4,900, at least looking off the top right here. She's averaging 18. We'll take a closer look. She's at that price, you need about 24. And she put 20, and she put a 40, pretty much a 40 spot here against New York. She put a 40 spot here, so she's capable of getting 40. She's capable of getting 30 plus, so they go at least 6x. And the games against Washington, she put up 24 and 8. Not a good game there, but game one, she put up that 40 spot, the best game she had all year with 21 floor points in 28 minutes. So she's had a little success already against Washington. I think Renee Montgomery is a nice little play here for today as well. I'm not on Bentley. She doesn't get sufficient times for $100 more. I'd rather pay up for Montgomery. Natasha Cloud, definitely, it says here concussion. She should be good to go. If she's playing, I definitely think she's a fine play. 4,700. You know, she's 4,700. You pretty much need 24 as well, and she's averaging 20, so that's very, very close. She's had plenty of time off. She was putting up 24 and 25 in 2 out of the last 3 games that she played. She has 40-point upside. So she's definitely someone to consider. And what I like most about Natasha is that she's an integral part of the time in the rotation. She's getting sufficient minutes on the floor, 26 to as much as 30 minutes, pretty much throughout the last maybe 7 or 8 games that she played. So Natasha Cloud is definitely someone you should consider. With her being in play, that will hurt Miss Ruffin Pratt and Miss Curry. They could be possible plays. I'm not on any of those. And basically, that is all for guards here in this game, at least for me, right now, as far as the first look. When it comes to forwards, Delle Donne is definitely in play, guys. There's no reason for her not to be in play. She did. Let me look here. Delle Donne is at 30, 40. She needs about 43 at 8,600. She's averaging pretty much close to 39. We know she's good to go. She can get you 45 to 50. She has capabilities of getting you 50 plus. And let's see, against Atlanta, she put up a 48 spot in the last game in 35 minutes, put 23, 11, and 2. I know that she put up these numbers. She put up a heck of a lot of shots. If I remember correctly, after the game, she took at least 20 or 21, 22 shots or something like that. But she was definitely off. I think she only shot about 35% from the floor. She would have had a massive game if she would have hit more shots. But 35 and 48 minutes, that's more than 1 fantasy point per minute. You know how much I love that here at DFS Zone. And then 28 here in minutes, 31, pretty much a 32 spot there. So Delle Donne has had success already against this team. Not, at 8,600, you definitely need her to get 43. I think she can get you that. It'll be great if she can get up to 50 and give you that 10x. There's a possibility that she can do that here in this matchup. Big game for Washington. They definitely need to win. I know they want to get back at Atlanta. As a matter of fact, I forgot to tell you guys, these guys have played each other. They have played each other twice. Sorry about that. And they have split 1 game apiece. So this is the tiebreaker game right here. Angel McCoughtry in play, 7,700. I'm not high on Angel McCoughtry here. I kind of like Jessica Breland and Elizabeth Williams more, just simply because they are a little bit cheaper. And not only that, Ms. Breland and Ms. Williams, they definitely defend. These girls are shot blockers. They definitely get a bulk of the rebounds over McCoughtry. I think McCoughtry is averaging maybe 6 or 7 rebounds, but Breland is up there, and Williams. That tandem there is really going to be tough for Delle Donne and for Latoya Sanders. So I definitely like Breland at 7,500. You need about 36. She's averaging close to 28. I mean, she's not going to get you exactly 36 all the time, but she's good for 30 to 35, as you can see here, 33, 36, 32. She does have that upside of 50 plus. She did it only one time. If she would have done it a few more times, I would have said definitely she's a really, really good GPP play, but she is definitely good enough for this particular game, and as well as these guys have been playing. And she's been doing this, not even averaging more than 30 minutes. This game here, obviously against Washington, she did put up the 56 against Washington. So she has had great success already there. The second time around, she put up 33 in 26 minutes. So she's definitely getting busy there. 10 rebounds in both games. She's getting some assists. And as you can see here, the blocks. Washington 2 in this game and 4 in this game. So 6 blocks in 2 games. Jessica Breland, for me, those are massive fantasy points. And she has the upside of getting 50. I think she's definitely in play. Elizabeth Williams, 66. You pretty much need about 36, 37 from her. That's really, really high for her. No, actually, sorry. You need about 32, 33 from her. She got a 37 spot here against Seattle. Against Washington, 30, 19, and then 31 and 24. Not quite 1 fantasy point per minute. But, again, she has the upside as far as getting the blocks and getting those additional fantasy points that I definitely like. If she could keep those 30 minutes or better against Washington, we'll hope so. She's not a bad play there. Obviously, just looking at this right now, you can tell them Breland is probably the better play. Latoya Sanders also, I feel, is in play in this matchup, so definitely someone to consider at 6,400. She is the top. She's the second top rebounder on the team for Washington. They definitely need her to rebound. She's an integral part of their rebounding, of their defense. She gets blocks, she gets steals, she does a lot of everything. The only thing is that sometimes she just don't quite get those numbers up there. 64, 30, you need about 32. She hasn't hit 32 in 2 straight games, but she has 40 plus upside. As you can see, she's capable of getting 30 or better. She's getting the minutes, 21 to as much as 26 minutes over the course of the last 3 games. Again, if she's not reaching this, you want to be at least certain that she's at least near her fantasy points per game average, and she's at least breaking that. 24 here, 47, 30, 30. So 4 out of the last 5, she's done that. So she's on the up and up, and this is a great matchup for her because she's battling up front against Williams and against Breland, and she's going to want to get hyped up for it. Not only that, also against Atlanta, as you can see here, 32 minutes, 30 spot, 16 minutes here, 11. I don't know why she played only 11 minutes here, but she definitely is someone you can consider in today's matchup. Miss Powers, a new add-in to this team with the trade with Dallas. And I like her, man. I like her here as a sneaky play, 4,100. She only played 3 minutes in her first game coming out on the floor against these guys. I think they're going to work her in. She may get more than 3 minutes today, especially if the game gets a little out of hand. If Atlanta starts pulling away a little bit, you can consider Aerial Powers as someone you can consider here. Monique Billings, only if the game gets a little out of hand. I think this game is going to be competitive throughout the whole 4 quarters. Maybe Atlanta pull away a little bit late. I expect Atlanta to win the game, but I think Washington will hang in there at least through the 4th quarter. But I'm not on anybody else there, man. That's pretty much it for this ball game. Let's go over to Chicago and Dallas. Chicago and Dallas implied totals 181.5. It is the highest scoring game of the night, with Dallas at home favored by 9.5, at least as of the moment. Chicago comes in the 10th seed in the standings. They're 9-17, and in their last 5 games, they're 2-3 with a 1-1 record on the road during the course of those 5 games. Dallas is coming in as the 6th seed, 14-11. In their last 5 games, they're 3-2, and they're 2-1 during the course of those 5 games at home. Okay, these teams have played each other already twice, and both teams have split 1 game each. Obviously, the last game was a big record-breaking game for Chicago when they scored 114 points, and Ms. Vandersloot, had that massive 15-assist triple-double game. But I think Dallas is going to want a little payback here today. Both teams have beaten each other at their home court and massively big. Dallas did win 108-85 the first time around, and of course, like I said, Chicago won their game at home 114-99. Dallas comes in second in the league in pace with 82.5 possessions per game. They're first in points at 87.9, pretty much 88 points per game. 4th in field goal percentage at 45%, 11th in three-point shooting at 31%, bottom of the barrel there. 5th in rebounding at 36 rebounds per game. They're 9th in assists. Percentage points from 2, they're 9th in the league, 54% from 2. Percentage points from 3, they're 7th, so they're kind of in the middle of the pack in the three-point shooting aspects of their offense at 22.5%. Points per game given up to guards, they're 8th at 33.4. They have been slipping a little bit there as of late, so something to target there. Points per game given up to forwards, they're 5th in the league at 48.7 points per game. On the opposite side of the ball, Chicago comes in 4th in pace. They love the run and gun, 81 possessions per game. Both of these teams are up there in the top in pace, so this is one of the reasons why this game is going to be a pace-up game at 181 total possible points. So you're definitely going to have a little bit of a shootout here. Points, they're 7th in points at 82.6 points per game, 6th in field goal percentage at 44.6%. They're 2nd in three-point shooting. Chicago loves their game revolves around the three-point shooting. So 35.9%, pretty much 36% from 3. 7th in rebounding at 33 rebounds per game. 2nd in assists at 20.8 assists per game. All right, so they definitely get the offense and the players involved, and that's pretty much Ms. Vandersloot. Percentage points from 2, they're 8th in the league at 56%. Percentage points from 3, they're 4th in the league at 26.4%. Points per game given up to guards on the defensive side, they're ninth at 34.2 points per game, and they're dead last in points per game given up to forwards and centers at 53.8. They have been slipping. They were once 50-51, and in the last 3 or 4 games, they have definitely dipped down a little bit lower there. So definitely an area to target in this matchup with the front court of Dallas. We look at the ball game here. Skylar Diggins-Smith obviously is in play, guys. I would think, let me just get my information on her. Miss Smith. Yeah, Skylar Diggins-Smith is in play. At least for me, she is in play. 8,300 is, pretty pricey, but hey, she has 10x upside. She can get you 50. She's done it already a couple of times over the course of the last few games. Let's take a quick look at her. She had a 13 spot here in 30 minutes against Connecticut. Obviously an off night for her, but 45, 16, 23. Got the 2 massive 50-pointer games here, 50 and 53 here. All right. Last time she played Chicago, she put up 45. That was the biggest amount of points that Chicago's front court has given up to guards or to a guard over the course of the last 5 or 6 games. And Chicago has tightened up a little bit in that area as far as the guards, but this is one game they weren't able to do that. So Diggins-Smith, just because she's had already 2 good games against Chicago, again 35 minutes, 45 spot here, and then the first game 34, almost a per 35 spot in 29 minutes. So both games over 1 fantasy point per minute, and not only that, she was averaging in within the 2 games probably about close to 40 points or 39 points between the 2 games. So, I mean, very close to value and, of course, above her average. So definitely in play if you want to pay up for her. I think she's a solid play. Courtney Vandersloot, probably even a better play, $400 cheaper, $7,900. You know what Courtney can do. You know what she did the last time. She has 50-point upside as well. All right. She put a 37, 44, and 50 over the last 3 games. I just love the massive minutes. She's playing 30 to 34 minutes. Remember, guys, the Chicago team as well as the Dallas team and, of course, the Seattle team that's playing in the next game that we're going to go over, their backcourt, they pretty much play most of the game. These girls, between Vandersloot and Quigley, they pretty much handle all of the backcourt duties for Chicago, and the same thing for Dallas with Gray and Diggins-Smith, and Seattle with Sue Bird and Miss Lloyd. Definitely an area with only a 3-game slate to know that you have this amount of good backcourt play where you got solid offensive players that are playing. You can definitely target 1 or 2 of these girls studs today and maybe decide to go with a cheaper value play for that 3rd guard. That's just an option. I kind of like the front court players today, so I'll probably be leaning towards maybe having 1 stud backcourt player and 1 stud front court player, and then revolve the rest among the mid-tier players, or possibly go with 2 forwards and then maybe 3 value plays at guard. It's just a way that you can go. You can target. But Vandersloot and Smith are both in play. I like Diamond DeShields here today too, 6,500. You need pretty much 32, 33 from her. It is a hefty amount of money. 24 is her average, but she did put 37 in her last game. She's been hitting 24 better in 1, 2, 3 out of the last 4 games. What I love is that she is getting the minutes. Remember, she is on here on FanDuel, like I've said before. If it's your first time here, Diamond DeShields plays small forward for Chicago. She's not in the backcourt. Okay, so when you're looking at her, you're basically looking to see if she's valuable to you as a front court player. And in this matchup here, she is in a good spot playing against Dallas, knowing that she's going to deal with Miss Thornton or maybe Miss Stevens off the bench. Okay, so I like Diamond DeShields here. I think it's a good matchup. When she's played the last 2 times she played against Dallas, she put a 28 spot here in 30 minutes, 17, 2, and 8. Pretty nice numbers there. And then the first time around, she put a 35 spot, almost a 36-point effort in 29 minutes. So more than 1 fantasy point per minute. So she has had 2 very good outings already, pretty much averaging about 28, 29 minutes in 28 to 30 minutes of play, as far as points. So Diamond DeShields definitely someone in play, and she's capable of getting you at least 40. Not a whole lot of upside, but she can get you close to 40. And 8x, that's actually just a little bit more better than having the 6,500 that you're going into with her. Allie Quigley in play. I'm not high on her tomorrow. I'd rather pay up and have Diamond DeShields or Vandersloot. I think is a better matchup. Quigley has not had good games against Dallas, and obviously, something's got to give. It's either going to be Vandersloot or her who's going to have the good game. It may be Allie today, but I still believe Courtney Vandersloot's in a better spot, and Mr. Shields here as far as Chicago, as far as in the FanDuel here, as far as guards are concerned. Alicia Gray definitely in play. Obviously, she is she plays massive minutes. 54. You need 25. You need about 27 from her. And she's averaging 18 and a half, pretty much almost close to 19. And she's getting that 20 here, 31, 22. So 3 out of the last 4, she's above her average. And as far as getting 27, she's did it once over the course of the last couple of games, twice actually in the last 4 games. I just love the fact that she gets a lot of time on the floor. So she's getting those minutes. If this game stays fairly close and it becomes a shootout, you want to have some Gray somewhere in your lineup, or a Diggins Smith if you want to pay up. But at 54, not a bad price. 26, 27. We know she can get there. She's capable of getting you 30. She doesn't have tremendous upside. She's not going to give you 35, 40, but she is someone that can get you that 25, 30. Gabby Williams, I also like here as well, 5,200. My only concern is not enough minutes, but she could be someone you can consider. So Gabby Williams in play. I don't know why I put her in here, sorry. Gabby Williams, I'll try to open her up. Gabby Williams, 19 average. And you need pretty much 26 from her. She got that here. She got that here. The games against Dallas, she put 19. She put 28 spot in 19 minutes against Dallas. That is pretty nice. And then 22 and 20. So in 19, 20 minutes, she averaged about 24, maybe 25 fantasy points, putting up 22 and 28 in 2 games respectively. So imagine if she just gets a little bit more. Give her 20 to 24 minutes, and maybe, just maybe, she can get you 30 plus. So she has the potential here. If she gets the amount of time, just from the experience, just from her 2 games against Dallas, she has shown that she can get 1 fantasy point per minute. So Gabby Williams is another one that plays in the front court. She does not play guard. She plays either the 3, sometimes she plays the 4 when she comes in, or sometimes she comes off the bench and she plays the 3 for Diamond the Shields. All right, Kalia Copper could be a possible value play, 3,800. The last time they played, you need 18 for 3,800, and the last time they played, she put up 25 in 20 minutes. She had a massive game, 23 minutes from the floor, 23 points off the floor. I don't know if she's going to be able to repeat that, but I'm sure that Chicago knows that they're capable of putting her on the floor. She's pretty quick. If they run that up-tempo style game that they're capable of doing and move the ball around the way they did in that last game against Dallas, they can give Dallas another rough night here. So watch out for Copper here. And then KD here, Kayla Davis, definitely someone to consider here as a low-value play for Dallas. We'll go over to the forwards. We got Miss Cambage. I don't need to discuss Liz Cambage. She is definitely 60-point upside. She's in play, guys. If you want to pay up for her, I definitely think she is a very good player. We know Chicago, like I said before, is the worst team in defending forwards and centers, giving up a whopping 53.8, pretty much almost 54 points a game. So trust me, Liz Cambage can have a very, very nice night here. So definitely someone in play. The only drawback is that possible blowout, or the possibility that she could be 40 or more % owned. Maybe very chalky. I won't say over 50%, but I wouldn't be surprised. But she'll definitely be probably in the 40% range. Not on Gloria Johnson. Stephanie Dawson could be a possible play. 6,200. You need pretty much 31 from her, or 30. She's been getting there close. She hasn't had good games, if I remember correctly, against Dallas. Dallas here, 21 and 28 minutes the last time around, then 28 and 16. Hasn't had those good games, but she has played well in the last 2 games against 2 teams with decent front court players, with Griner here and Bonner for Phoenix, and then going up against Candace Parker here against LA. She put up 33 and 28. So she is very much capable of putting up some decent numbers. Not a tremendous upside. She's not going to get you 40 plus, but she's good for 30 to 35. And at that price, that's about right. She's good for a cash play for today's slate if you wanted to go that route. But I think she is definitely someone you can consider here. Miss Stevens, a better play, $100 cheaper, coming off the bench. She's had 2 pretty good outings, if I remember correctly, against Chicago. 21 and 34, almost 35 massive points in 21 minutes, 14-9, 2-1-2. Did a little bit of everything in that game. And then the prior game before that, 17 minutes, 23 fantasy points. So she's put up more than 1 fantasy point per minute in 17 to 21 minutes combined. She's put up 50, pretty much 57, 58 fantasy points. So Miss Stevens, for me, is definitely someone you must consider tomorrow. Miss Thornton is someone you can consider as well, $400 cheaper. If you want to go with anybody in Chicago, Miss Parker, not bad. They're going to need some help. All right. So maybe Miss Parker at 5,100 could possibly be someone in play. I will know further after I evaluate this really closely. She is Dallas, 18 minutes, 21 fantasy points in 18 minutes. Not too bad. I think I had her in the lineup for this particular game. And the one before that, only 13 minutes, 6 fantasy points. Wasn't really much involved in this game here. But they're going to need her in the front court tomorrow. Today, excuse me. So I expect her to get some minutes. Teresa Plaisance is probably back in play. She hasn't played yet. She had that knee injury. She's been out the whole entire year. It could be a possible sneaky play. I doubt she's going to get massive minutes. If she plays at all, it'll probably be 5 to 10 minutes just to see how well she does. But she's had a whole week more because I think she was been cleared since like 2 games before the break. And now she's gotten a whole nother week. So she might be in better conditions to maybe get 10 to 15 minutes today. So we'll see. All right. She's at 4,000. You need 20. Pretty tough order for someone who's coming off a knee injury. But we'll be on the lookout for that. We go over to Seattle and Phoenix, the last game on the slate. We have Seattle at Phoenix. Seattle comes in number 1 in the league at 19-7. They're 3-2 over the course of their last 5 games and 3-1 during those 5 games on the road. So they're playing very good basketball. All right. On the other side of the ball, Phoenix is coming in 5th in the league at 15-11. They have been struggling. They're coming in with a 4-game losing streak on the road, but they're finally at home. They're 1-4 over the course of those 5 games, and that one game that they won in the 5 games was the last game they played at home, which was at the beginning before the road trip. So they went on the road trip, went 0-4, and now they're back at home. Implied totals 166 total for this game with Seattle on the road favored by 1 is what I have right now. Phoenix is coming in. Both of these teams have played each other twice, and Phoenix won 1 game, 87-82 at home, at Seattle, and then Seattle returned the favor at Phoenix and beat Seattle 87-71. All right, let's go into the team stats. Phoenix is coming in 6th in pace at 80 possessions per game, 5th in points at 83.4 points per game, 5th in field goal percentage at 44.8%, 4th in three-point shooting at 35.7%, 11th in rebounding at 31.8, pretty much 32 rebounds per game. 5th in assists at 19.8 assists per game. Percentage points from 2, they're dead last at 50%. Percentage point from 3, they're second, so their offense revolves around the 3-point shot. 29%, which is second in the league. Points per game given up to guards defensively, they're 6th. And giving up 32.6 points per game, and they are second in points per game given up to forwards and centers at 46.1 points per game. On the other side of the ball, Seattle comes in 7th in pace, 79.9, pretty much 80. Both of these teams are dead even, 6th and 7th in the league in pace, both pretty much averaging 80 possessions a game. So that definitely something to consider here. Second in points at 87 points per game for Seattle. First in field goal percentage at 46.8%, pretty much 47% from the floor field goal percentage. Third in three-point shooting at 35.7%. So both teams are very, very big three-point shooting teams, and they're very efficient from 3. They actually are even at 35.7% each. They're both tied for 3rd. Rebounding, 6th in rebounding at 35.2 rebounds per game. First in assists at 20.9. Pretty much 21 assists per game. Percentage points from 2, they're 10th at 53.6%. Percentage points from 3, first in the league at 29.6. And remember, Phoenix is second at 29%. So both teams, again, their offense revolves with some shots. At least almost 30% of their shots are from 3-point range. Points per game given up to guards defensively, they are 3rd at 30.5 points per game. And they're also 3rd in points per game given up to forwards and centers at 46 25.6 points per game. So Seattle has been really, really tough there throughout the course of the year. We go on to the game here. We have Diana Taurasi, hands down, is in play, guys. Jewel Lloyd, definitely someone that is in play. I think Jewel Lloyd is in a better spot because she's had a little bit more success against Phoenix, while Taurasi has not had the big game against Seattle. I know they played early on in the year. They only have one game here against Phoenix, but she played in 2 games. She put a 40 spot in 31 minutes. She put a massive 29 points from the floor. That is an incredible game for her, and this was early on, the first game or 2 of the season. I think they both played against one another. 8,000, you need 40, man. You know, she hasn't put 40 in the last 2 games, but she did have 2 50-spot games and a 40 prior to that. She's capable of getting you 50+. As you can see, she already put 40 against this team. I think Jewel Lloyd is definitely in play. Obviously, both teams high on three-point shooting. She's one of those that shoots at about 33% from 3. So they definitely need Lloyd to shoot some threes and convert some threes. It should be definitely an interesting game. DeWanna Bonner, another one that's here as a guard on FanDuel, but plays forward for Phoenix. DeWanna Bonner is definitely in play. If you think that she is value to you as a forward over here at 7,800, definitely you should play her. I think she is. Okay, at 7,800. You need pretty much 38, and she's capable of giving you 10x. She's capable of giving you 50. And as you can see, put up 54 in the last game against Chicago and a 43 against Minnesota, which up front, Minnesota is a pretty darn good team up front. All right. She's averaging 32 or better in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 straight games. So she is pretty much on fire. She's at least getting to her average or above. And she, of course, she has 50-point upside. She's shown it here. Last time she played against Seattle, she put 31 and 30 respectively in 34 and 35 minutes. So not too bad, just slightly under a fantasy point per minute. Remember, I've discussed this in prior videos. DeWanna Bonner as well as Taurasi are always fantasy points per minute. They're usually in that 0.90 to 0.96 range. They're almost 1 fantasy point per minute almost in every single game. If you look at their numbers closely, you'll see that they're very, very close. So she is definitely a good FPPM play in this matchup. So Bonner is definitely in play. I'm not on Sue Bird in this particular game. I'd rather go with Lloyd than I will go with Bird and pay $1,000 more. The upside is better with Lloyd as far as offensively, even though Sue Bird is a good assist passer and she's capable of knocking down some threes. But she's not, for me, 35 is tough for her to get 35 on a regular basis. So I don't think she can get you value there. Other than that, I'm not really much on anybody else other than you could possibly consider Brianne January. I mean, she at 3,600, she's pretty cheap. You need 15, 16 points from her. And we know she's capable of getting more than 14 or 15 points. She put 36 in the last game against Chicago, 20 solid points. Obviously, there was no Diana Taurasi. She was suspended. I think Tolbert played some minutes as well, and she had Talbert. And she had a great game as well. But I think she needs to try to win her minutes back. So maybe possibly over these next couple of games, she'll start getting more and more minutes. So I would say watch out for her. She could be a possible sneaky play. And I don't think Talbot is going to get the same amount of minutes. So I'm not concerned about her. We go over to the forwards. Not much to discuss in the guards. I mean, straight up, the best players are the ones I mentioned. Over here, same thing here. If you're considering anybody here, obviously Brianna Stewart is in play. 8,700. I mean, you know, she is definitely someone you must consider all the time. Let's look over her numbers here for a moment. If I can find it. Yes, Brianna Stewart. Okay, as we know, 8,700. You need about 43, 44. She has 50-point upside. We all know that. We don't even have to discuss that. We know she has 50-point upside. Let's just see how well she did against these guys the first time around. Okay, she had one game here. I know one game she had. See, there's one game missing. I don't know if it's just the limit on the screen. But she had a 28 spot in this game, only in 34 minutes. Not the big game. She did have 11 rebounds. But she did have a 54 spot in the first game. Okay, it's not on here, but she did get 54. So she's capable of getting 50+ against this team. We know she can get 50+ any given night. I mean, what I like her more about Griner is in play, but for $200 more, I'd rather go with Stewart. Stewart brings a little bit more upside to me. as far as her game is concerned. She's a little quicker. She's capable of hitting the three. She's a much better free throw shooter than Griner. So she has a lot of little upsides to her. Good rebounder, possibly even rebounds more better than Brittany Griner. So in this particular matchup, I'd rather go with Stewart. And in the whole actual slate, I think Stewart and Liz Cambage are definitely the best bets, unless you're going to try to go after Elena Delle Donne. Brittany Griner, not on her. I think she's definitely someone you can consider, but I think Stewart is just the best play. Natasha Howard, definitely you can consider her. 7,100. You pretty much need 35 to meet value. She can get you 35. As you can see, she was able to get 40. She's been able to do 40 plus twice already over the course of the last 6-7 games. The only drawback sometimes is a little bit less minutes, but here 18, 29, 27. If she stays at 27 or better, I think she has a shot to give you 30 plus. Maybe not quite to value, even though she does have the upside. I think because of the upside, I don't mind paying 7,100. I think there's a couple of other value, more lower price girls here that I think can give you the same amount of points, and they'll be a little bit cheaper, a little more value for you guys. Against Seattle, against Phoenix, the first year here, she put 17 in 23 minutes. So, I mean, she's in play, guys. I'm not saying that she's not. Like I said, I'm going to evaluate, look over everything. I'll know more by the time we do the live show. But Natasha Howard is someone to consider. Alicia Clark, someone to consider as well. I don't think she's at 5,600 consistently. 25, you need pretty much 27, 28. I think she's more of a 20 to 25 range girl. And she is pretty much 25, 24, 24, 21, 25. Yeah, I kind of like her at that 20 to 25 point range. She is averaging more than 17, but she really doesn't have a whole lot of upside. What we do like about is that she gets sufficient minutes. And when she gets in the 30 range, she definitely has those advantages because she's on the floor more. She hasn't been doing that in the last 4 games, 23 minutes, 26, 27, 27. So maybe possibly not someone to consider at 5,600. We go down a little lower. Angel Robinson and Camille Little in play. Camille, you need pretty much 18, 19. Robinson, 15. I kind of like Robinson more. She seems to be taking more advantage of the minutes on the floor and putting points up on the board. 22 minutes, 6, 6, and 1, 16. She had a 27-minute, 21-point performance here. 24 against Connecticut and 27. Let's see if she's had any time against... No, she has not played against Seattle. Okay, so she not even faced Seattle. Obviously, not early on in the year when they had the other Little, who's now hurt. That's one of the reasons why she was. Sancho Little was the starter at that point in time. With her out now, obviously Camille has been starting, and then of course Miss Angel Robinson is coming off the bench. I think Angel Robinson is slowly but surely getting more of those opportunities with the rotation and getting the opportunities to get the ball in her hands and make things happen. So kind of like Angel Robinson a little bit more there. I'm not on anybody else in this particular game. That's pretty much it, man. That's pretty much it. What I'm going to do, like I always do, guys, I am going to go over all these players, all these numbers. Real quickly here, I'll show you pretty much who I have. As you can see here on Fantasy Crunch, I have the slate has 68 players. I narrowed it down already to 38, so I already eliminated 30. These are my guards right here: Taurasi, Vandersloot, Smith, Bonner, Lloyd, Bird, Hayes, DeShields, Quigley, Tolliver, Gray, Cloud, Atkins, Montgomery, Sykes, Williams, Bentley, Copper, and Davis. Okay, and then the forwards, and you can always pause this after you see the video, and you can actually write them down if you want. Stewart, Delle Donne, Cambage, McCautry, Griner, Sanders, Stevens, Thornton, Johnson, Dolson, Breland, Howard, Williams, Parker, Clark, Powers, Little, Billings, and Robinson. This will be narrowed down later on, and I should have at least maybe a top 15 or so, top 20 that I can share with you guys. And of course, give you guys further information about where things line up, because I definitely look over player matchups, defenses, and as far as how the teams have played as a team and how they have defended against opposing teams over the course of the last 3 or 4 or 5 games. So I'll have that information for you guys later. Again, guys, that's pretty much it, man. Drop a like on the video. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. Again, I'll be back with the live show later on with more information. And come on down. Let's talk. Let's discuss the slate. And let's narrow down our plays. And hope that we all can make some serious money tonight. All right, guys? Everybody have a blessed day, and I'll see you guys later on. All right? Bye.